What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be texturizing this denim casual t-shirt that I made in my previous video in Clo 3D and importing it into Blender. So let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is go file, import OBJ, and we're going to import the OBJ that we exported from Clo 3D of the casual t-shirt and import that straight in. We're then going to open up another panel, and then in our right panel we're going to go to top view, and we're going to use Quick Studio, which is a cool plugin you can get on Blender Marketplace. And I'm just going to set up a scene quickly and then also a lighting scene. We're going to bring this down a little bit just so it's in the right spot, and then press Shift A to add a camera and then bring it back. Then we can go view, set active camera. Let's press N on our keyboard just to hide that side panel, and then when you go into cycles you'll see that we have what we're looking for. I'm going to go into our output and make sure render region is selected, and now we can begin texturizing. So let's just remove these overlays. We can zoom in here and see what we've got. We're going to drag this down now and open up the shader editor, and the first thing we're going to do is delete our image texture, and we're going to start to set up our textures. Now if you do download the file, everything will be set up for you already. You can obviously change if you want. I'm going to add in a new texture for our denim solid material. You can press Ctrl Shift T. If you don't have this available, make sure your node wrangler in preferences is enabled. We can go to our desktop, casual t-shirts, vmod, and we're going to select all of our materials. This will automatically set up everything for you, and you're pretty much almost good to go. We're just going to add a value node in the scale, and then we can start to scale this until we're happy, like so. And then we are going to do the same thing for our second material. We can actually just copy this over, so select that top layer, and then you'll see the sleeves have been applied, and then we can just duplicate it over here and change this to light. And then what we're going to do is add a color ramp by pressing Shift A and just drop that in. You'll see that it does change color here. Now to change that, we're going to change this to a blue color, something similar to what we originally were working with, maybe a tad bit lighter, like that. And there we go. We now have our sleeves, which looks pretty cool. Just to make the effect look better, we're going to go into our regular render mode, and let's just hide this backdrop. Go to our front view, and from here we're going to go into edit mode, and we're just going to select the inside of our long sleeve using the select lasso tool. This is just going to allow us to change the color of the inside so that it matches the outside. We can then go to this light color and hit assign, and you'll immediately notice that it has been updated. I'm going to go into our toggle x-ray mode and just do this again and hit assign, just so I make sure I've selected everything. Perfect. Then let's go to our other side and do the same thing. Select everything and hit assign, and now we're good to go. So we've set up our basic textures. We're now going to adjust the buttons and then also the stitching. So for the buttons, you'll notice that they're actually reflecting the wrong color. The two over here. This is because when I imported it, they were switched for some reason. So to fix this, we're going to go back into our edit mode, go to our materials and just hit select. So your top one is your button, so it's going to select all of those for you. Then we can right click and say separate selection, and then we can go back into object mode and then make sure we select buttons. So I'm just going to recall this to buttons in our layer here and hit edit. Then go to our x-ray mode, select this, press R to rotate, followed by Y times 2, and just hit 180, and you'll notice it will automatically rotate that for you. We can go out of x-ray mode and just start fiddling around until we're happy with this now. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. We can then go back to our buttons and select our garment and then press Ctrl J, and that will join them together. We're then going to go to this material and just make it a little bit shinier. So let's bring down the roughness and increase the metallicness, and it'll just make it a little bit shinier for us. Next thing we do is the stitching. So let's click on our stitching, which is this one here. You can rename it if you want by double clicking on it. We're going to go into edit mode again, and we're going to just deselect our buttons so that it's not selected. Then go back to our bottom material and press select, and this is going to select all our stitching. So from here, what you'll notice is that your stitching is actually like slightly off. Can't really see it too badly, but here you can see it from the side. The shadow is completely off, which is not what you want. It's not too realistic. So from here, we are going to just right click and say separate selection. This will create a new layer of just the stitching. We're then going to select our layer, which is now our stitching layer, and add a modifier called shrink wrap. And then we're going to click on our t-shirt. You'll notice immediately that it goes quite far into it. That's because our offset is at 0. And what we're going to do here is change it to 0.0001. And this will just keep it pretty close to the surface. You still see there's some separation there, so let's add another 0. And now it is perfect. Once that's complete, we're going to apply this modifier and join it to our t-shirt. So press Ctrl J and that will join it. One thing you'll notice is that it doesn't look too realistic in terms of the denim sitting, like creating too much texture. So one thing you can do is go to your normal here and just increase this by like a little bit, and you'll start to see like some more shadows come in, and it starts to look a lot more realistic. Just fiddle around with it until you're happy with it. I found like the sweet spot was around 3, and then you're pretty much good to go. I'm just going to go back to my camera mode, bring this backdrop down so we have a flat wall, and then I also like to add in another point light on the back just so we can get some vignette. Bring this all the way back, bring this up to 1000, and then I also just like to create some extra highlights off the back. So I normally just duplicate one of these lights, and then you'll see there's some highlights coming off there. There is other ways of texturing this. I'm actually going to show you that quickly. One of the other ways is to go into Photoshop. So I have the UV here. I'm just going to open up in Photoshop. You can of course use whatever you want. So to create some like contrast and stuff, you can use the brush tool. It looks pretty cool. I normally bring this down to like 2, 3, and then bring this up to about 1000, and then I just create a new layer, and I'm going to make this black. And then what you can do is just start drawing around the edges. I know it looks weird right now, but you'll see why it looks pretty cool just now. Just draw around the edges, create some like contrast on the edges, around the neck, in the middle, and then we can just bring this down. You'll see it's almost like created like some burn effect. And then you can take it even further by making even smaller brushes and just like doing whatever you want, I guess. And then you can just decrease this opacity. So you have stuff like that. And then what you want to do from here is just save this as a PSD document. And then we can go back into Blender, and all you need to do is replace the base color. So let's click on the base color and look for that Photoshop document and just open it. It will look weird at first. That's because it's actually connected to your mapping thing, which you don't want. So let's disconnect that, and you'll see like it's already looking like more unique, I'd say. And then we're going to do the exact same thing to the base color of the light texture. Let's look for that PSD document. Maybe make this a little bit darker. And then just to show off the contrast that we created, we're just going to add another area light and bring it up. You can rotate it by 90 and then 180 and bring it forward, just so we have a light in the front. And then I'm going to use this 3D cursor to rotate it, just so it's a little bit of a side light. Maybe bring it up like that. Yeah, so it's something different way to style it. You can obviously use Substance Painter, but I know a lot of us don't have that and can't afford it. So you can do it this way as well. It looks pretty cool. But yeah, if this video did help you, please drop a like, comment, and a sub. If you need any extra help, make sure to join my Discord. Always available to help. And for those who buy products off my store, I really do appreciate it. It helps a lot and it means a lot. Thank you guys so much as always. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.